Today's fairy tale is another medieval story called Guigemar. Like my previous werewolf story, it's a lay by Marie de France, and he starts out as an asexual king, but of course that has to change, because medieval literature is all about romance. Guigemar is an absolute badass who is a knight for the king, and he's handsome, he's skilled, he's polite. The text even calls him the prettiest boy, but he perverted nature insofar as he cared nothing for love. There's not a dame or damsel under heaven that interests him. He's just not into it. Like I said, this is a culture that's all about romance, and so everyone considers him a perilous case. Like, dude, that's not okay. One day he's hunting and he chases this female deer and he shoots her in the hoof and she goes down. But the arrow rebounds and sticks in his own thigh and he goes down too. Even though she only got hurt in the hoof, she is the most extra drama queen ever. She says, "Alas, I am slain." Because not only can she talk, she can apparently curse people too, because she curses him. She says, "Be it neither herb nor root, nor the potion, nor any leech to help thee, free thee of the wound in thy thigh, until thou art healed by a woman who loves thee so much she would die for thee, and that you love so much you would die for her." Then she says, "Get thee hence and let me die in peace." So clutching his bleeding thigh, he stumbles away thinking, well, I'm dead, I don't love anyone, so no one's gonna be able to heal me. He makes it to the seashore and sees this lone vessel, this beautiful fancy boat, and he just kind of falls into it, and then the boat leaves and takes him to another kingdom. Even though it says its sail is silk, which I feel like wouldn't work very well. I don't know, I'm not a sailor. So then we go to the land he's about to float to. There's this beautiful noblewoman who's married to an old man who is a jealous douche. He keeps his young beautiful wife prisoner. She's only ever allowed to see a priest, the Lord himself, and this maiden who is given to her to be her companion. And the room he gives her has this big like mural of Venus and all this love that she doesn't get, which feels extra mean. Well, the only part of her prison that isn't walled off is this garden that faces the sea. She's out there one day when Guigemar's boat floats up, and he's almost dying from his leg wound, but she and her friend secretly bring him in and heal him. They hide him behind this tapestry, and our girl tends to him day and night, and he absolutely falls in love with her, and she falls in love with him. So the curse comes true. She is able to heal him because she loves him, he loves her. But they don't tell each other. They both tell her friend, and one day when he tells the friend that he's in love with the girl, the friend is like, "I actually am totally down with this. She's married, but her husband is awful, and you two are both really cute, and you'd make the cutest couple. I'm gonna help you out." So she tells the lady, "This guy likes you," and they get together. He kissed her, and they dallied and spoke together with tender embraces. Surely it is fitting that they should have a just share of what other folks have. That's the narrator there, who absolutely approves of this cheating. Because is it cheating when the person you're with has imprisoned you and is more your captor than your husband? That actually also happens in another story by Marie de France, I'll tell you later, but she thinks it's fine. So he stays living with her secretly for a year and a half, and then one day they start to feel like they're gonna get caught, this has to come to an end sometime, and so she says, "Hey, to prove our love, I'm gonna tie a knot in your tunic that no other woman can untie unless they cut it. Just my magical hands will untie this knot." And he gives her the same thing, a belt that only he is gonna be able to untie, and that way they prove their fidelity to each other. One day the husband does catch them, and he tells Guigemar, "I'm gonna kill you," and Guigemar's like, "Listen, I didn't sneak in here on purpose. My boat drifted up here when I was wounded and she helped me." And he's like, "If that's true, show me the boat." So he shows him the boat and he's like, "All right, instead of killing you, I'm gonna let you just go off on the boat, but you can't ever come back here again." So he goes off on the boat. The magic boat takes him back to his own land, and everyone welcomes him home, but he will still not marry anyone, not because he doesn't feel love now, but because he only feels love for our chick. The poor girl, though, gets put in a tower of marble by her husband and suffers that way for 2 more years. One day she manages to escape her tower and she goes to the sea with the intention of drowning herself, but then she sees that same magic boat that brought her man is there. So she gets in it and it takes her to his land. She gets found by this lord of this castle named Moratus, and he immediately thinks she's super beautiful. He wants to marry her. But she tells him no. She's like, "Look at this girdle I'm wearing. It's magic. I will only marry the man who can untie this girdle, my love." Then the Lord tells her, "Oh my God, there's this guy in town who has a tunic that he won't marry anyone who can't untie the tunic. Is that the guy?" You might think he's an awesome dude for telling her this, but he's not. He's awful. She immediately swoons upon hearing this, and this guy decides immediately to SA her. But because of her magic girdle, he can't do it. And by the time he decides, I'm just gonna cut it, she wakes up and is able to get away from him. Then the Lord gets distracted because there's this enemy who's supposed to have a jousting tournament with him, so he summons all these knights to come help him out with this tournament, and of course, Guigemar shows up. At the tournament, he sees Our Lady and he recognizes her at first, but then he's like, no, that can't be her. Why would she be here? She was imprisoned by her husband. He might have killed her. It must be just a trick of the eye. But she comes up to him and she's like, oh, it's you. And she unties his tunic, proving who she is. He unties her girdle. They have found each other. But that jerk lord comes up to them and he's like, no, she's mine. I found her, finders keepers. Guigemar says, well, then I'm gonna go to war against you for her. And he's like, cool, bring it on. There's this big war. Lots of people die on both sides, but eventually Guigemar wins. With great joy, he married the lady and happily ever after. No word of what happens to her husband back in her land, but I don't know, hopefully he's dead. As I said earlier, cheating is a common motif, courtly love as it were, in all of medieval literature, and Marie de France has it in most of her stories, and sometimes it's shown as okay, and sometimes it is shown as bad. Tomorrow I'm going to tell you a story where it is bad, bad, bad. As always, check out my book and my podcast. All my links are in the bio.